Hello and welcome to another edition of Only in Illinois, your weekly video recap from Reboot Illinois. Today I'm here with Matt Dietrich, of course, and we have a special guest, Cynthia Canary, who is the Executive Director of Independent Map Amendment, and you can find out more about it at independentmapamendment.org. Cindy, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
So you are running the operation to try again in
That's
Illinois to create a more independent, less political way to make the legislative district boundaries.
That's correct.
In Illinois.
That's correct.
And so you started in May and already have...
We already have, I looked at the numbers this morning, right around 220,000 signatures.
That sounds fantastic.
That's a lot of people.
You need technically what?
Technically, to get on the ballot, we need 290 some signatures, but they have to be valid signatures, which means that they have to be from registered voters in Illinois. And to make sure that all of our signatures are good, we've set a very high goal, which is 600,000 signatures.
Okay. And so people will remember that we tried this 2 years ago, and we tried it once before that. Both of those efforts failed. What is different this time that gives you some hope that this is achievable?
Well, experience is a great teacher, and we've learned from both what was done right and what was done wrong. And among the things that are different this time is we were out in the field in June and July and those really important summer months. You know, everyone who lives in Illinois knows we've got a limited window. So we're at all of the fairs and farmers markets, and that's where we're getting signatures. So I think that's a big help. We've hired a very good firm to collect these signatures, but we've also put in place a volunteer network that's been built out over these previous campaigns. So we've got very well trained, thoughtful volunteers who are not just getting signatures, but building support in their communities. And finally, we've redrafted the initiative so that it is very focused and we believe will meet the legal thresholds required in the state. And we're raising money like crazy to try to make it happen.
And Cindy, why is it that I've always viewed this as sort of the granddaddy, the mother of all political reforms in Illinois. Why is this one in particular so difficult to get onto the ballot and get before the people?
Right. Well, you know, whenever you do a reform, be it, you know, campaign finance or redistricting, it's very hard to get the people whom the rules affect to change the rules of the game. You know, in the legislature, think, well, I like my district, this must be working just fine. So right now we've got a process where legislators actually draw the districts behind closed doors. And this initiative is to put it in the hands of a citizens commission, very independent, in a transparent, accountable manner. But that means that we won't see the kind of political districts that we see now, which is why we haven't seen a big move in the legislature to put this amendment on the ballot. I believe that something like this will only come from citizens. Citizens who approach it in a very nonpartisan way saying, you know, this state is not working and we need some fundamental reforms.
Right. And for the party that gets to actually draw the map, that's a pretty big prize. So it's going to be, that's not one that they want to give up.
It's a huge prize. You know, that is, you know, we talk about gerrymandering, and what we see is political gerrymandering. Now, does that mean that, you know, if there are a majority of Republicans or a majority of Democrats as voters, that we won't see majorities in our map? Of course we'll see that. But it will be directed by the voters rather than artificially imposed by the map.
Right.
So the last time around, Judge Mary Mikva issued a decision that said this doesn't work this time, but kind of gave a roadmap to what could work, and you're following that, and what makes this one a little bit different?
Yeah, in the previous initiative, there were essentially eligibility requirements for the members of the commission that talked about how long they had to wait before running for office or having served in office. And Judge Miffa ruled that eligibility criteria were too broad to put in this initiative. In Illinois, we don't do a lot of initiatives, which I could argue is a pretty good thing, actually.
Right.
But we do have this one little window we can go through, which we're trying to do here. So she said, in fact, redistricting could go on the ballot as an initiative. It's something that theoretically, people could vote on, we could put on the ballot, but you have to focus it, you have to make it more narrow. And so working with our attorneys from the get-go, they used her decision to try to think out how to redraft this so that when this is challenged, which I think inevitably it will be because it's so politically contentious amongst the powers that be in Springfield.
Right, you're taking away power.
You're
from
taking away
politicians.
Power. Right. So when the outcry comes from Springfield, I think we're in good stead when we go before the courts.
And what can people do? How can they get involved? What's it going to take?
Well, for this to succeed, it really takes involvement from people across the state. Sign a petition, go to our website, mapamendment.org. You can download a petition or you call us, we'll send you one. And that's so important. Get your name on there, but also reach out to organizations that you're involved in. If you're involved in service clubs or churches, see if they'll endorse this. If you want a speaker, let us know. What we really need is to build momentum, and I think this will pass if citizens own the change.
Right. And I think it's really important that you are registered to vote.
That's
if you're
right.
going to, when you sign these petitions, and you are registered to vote at the address that you're going to put on the petition,
right.
because
That's
that was one
right.
of the problems that the last effort ran into.
And if you could please use your good handwriting, we would appreciate it.
All right. Well, that sounds great.
We'll work on our penmanship.
All right.
All right, so Reboot Illinois has long supported a more independent map-making effort, so we hope that we can help Cindy out in her efforts and that you will too. Get involved in your own state government because it is yours. That's it for this week's edition. We'll see you on the next edition of Only in Illinois.